Thank you, Krista. I'm smiling because I'm really happy to be here. I've had many experiences in my life, and some of them have been interesting, like negotiating the roads coming down here to this press conference. I felt like I was on a bucking bronco. But I made it, and I made it because I wanted to be here. I am the current chair of the Council of Canadians with Disabilities. We are the oldest, the largest organization of organizations run by people with disabilities in this country. We are 48 years old. We are intersectional cross-disability and deaf communities that have come together and have always fought through times when there were no ramps, no accessible washrooms, and we have gone all across this country to make changes. All of those changes were about accessing life, accessible buildings, accessible workspaces, accessibility and equity with other Canadians. In 1981 to 1982, we were always on Parliament Hill, talking to MPs, talking to the politicians around ensuring that disability was put in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The first draft of it didn't include us. And we fought and we got it in there. Why? Because so many of us are pushed to the margins and given over to charities and given over to institutions so that no one saw us. No one saw us. We were whispered about. Oh, I feel so bad you have a family member with a disability. No more. One of our taglines of our organization is a voice of our own, and we've made that voice loud. And we're proud of ourselves as Canadians. As people with disabilities, we represent every family. We represent every economic space. We represent every intersect of society will have a person with a disability. We worked for decades and decades together to ensure the passing of many changes in government, from transportation to having ASL in court cases, at healthcare. These cases go on and on for the last 4 decades, 5 decades and more. At all times we've worked these with the disability community, all of us together, for life and a quality of life, along with parents, supporters. Recently, Stats Canada came out with a number that floored me, and I don't floor easily. That number was 28% of adults in Canada have stated they have a disability. 28%, and they felt that was low. So we're looking at nearly 1/3 of the adult population of our country has a disability. What we have never fought for is the right to die. We fought for the right to live. MAiD Track 2 is designed to promote and is fully funded to ensure that we have an out. That out is suicide. I don't think that's an out we want to promote. I think as Canadians we can do much better than that. So I stand with my colleagues today, the three of the very important national organizations, that a law that singles out and identifies disabled people as the group to be offered government-funded suicide rather than funding the supports to live is unconstitutional. We believe in the right of the dignity to life, and those lives must be supported. I think about those 28% adults in this country, probably closer to 1/3, they're your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, your uncles, your moms, your dads. They're me. I've just recently been asked, why would you choose to live rather than when you had MAiD? I went in for a bruised hip, not because I was suffering, because I've got a disability. Can you imagine how flippant that is? That I don't look right, I'm in a chair, I'm 69 years old, and I'm vision impaired. So, have you thought about MAiD, Heather? It doesn't make me feel good, because that's becoming normalized because of this law. People think that that's a natural progression of a person with a disability's life, that it should end in death. Much sooner than before we would ever consider that as a place we would go. We're living our lives. So would you choose that for your family member, for your loved one? Would you not be fighting for their right to live and the supports they need to live a good life? That's inclusion. That's why we all exist in the disability rights movement. Because we have a Canada that for a long time didn't include us. But it does now in many, many sectors, and it's growing, and we're finding more and more spaces that we're included and we're accepted. CCD will always fight for life, and this is a place where people need to check their unconscious biases when they see us and think about what they say and what the message is. And especially government needs to think about the message they're giving to me. You're okay to talk to. We'll use you in our stats that we did something for you, but we would rather you die. And no other citizen in this country is subjected to that. So I thank you for being here and to hear this message. Bonnie?